my god, new content just dropped. I'm so excited to explore this zone.
Right? I'm not even looking at guides. I want to discover everything myself.
All right, I've optimized the entire zone. Here's the fastest path through all content, all secret areas, all mechanics explained in detail.
Wait, already? The content just dropped like 4 hours ago.
Yeah, I didn't sleep. I got the optimal route. You're welcome.
I didn't even know there were secret areas. I haven't found them yet.
Well, now you do. You're welcome. Here's the build you should use, here's the rotation, here's what every mechanic does.
But I wanted to figure this out myself.
Why would you do that when I've already done the work? This is the correct way to play. Everything else is inefficient.
What if I don't want to be efficient? What if I want to explore?
Then you're playing wrong. Nobody explores anymore. The optimal path is established. Anything else is wasting time.
I'm checking Reddit to see what other people are doing, and it's all speedrun guides. Every single post is either a guide or people asking why they should do anything other than the optimized route.
This is the third new zone, and it's the same thing every time. By the time I get to explore, I already know everything about it. Where's the discovery?
Hey, I see you exploring slowly. That's not efficient. Use the guide I posted. You're wasting time.
I'm not wasting time, I'm having fun.
Having fun inefficiently is still inefficient.
Welcome back to MMO Madness Behind the Troll Mask. I'm Boss Mode, and today we're talking about speedrun spoilers and how the need for optimization has basically murdered discovery in MMOs. We're talking about content that gets solved in hours, guides that get posted before casual players even reach the content, and a community that's decided there's only one right way to play. Let's explore why speedrunners think they're saving us and why discovery players think they're ruining everything. Here's the thing about speedrunning that doesn't get talked about. It used to be a niche hobby. Speedrunners were weird nerds who cared about world records and optimization. Most people just played games normally. But somewhere along the way, speedrunning became the default and normal play became the weird thing. There are two different ways to play MMO content. One is discovery. You experience the content as it's meant to be experienced. You find secrets, you learn mechanics, you explore areas, you figure out builds through trial and error. This takes time, but it's engaging. You're the one discovering things. That discovery feels good. That's why exploration games exist. The other way is optimization. You're given all the information and you figure out the most efficient way to execute it. You speedrun. Your min-max builds, you follow the established route. This is the fastest, but it requires giving up the discovery. You're not finding anything because everything's already been found. Both of these play styles used to coexist. Speedrunners did their thing, casual players did theirs, and everyone was happy. But content creators and streamers figured out that optimization gets views. A speedrunner clearing new content in 3 hours gets massive attention. A casual player taking 3 days to explore gets nothing. So all the attention and resources went to speedrunning. Now when new content drops, the speedrunning community mobilizes immediately. Entire teams coordinate to figure out optimal routes. They stream it, they post guides, they establish the correct way to play. All of this happens within hours of content release, and by the time casual players get to the content, the optimal path has been established and everyone knows it. This creates a situation where discovery is impossible. You can't discover something that's already been discovered and posted to YouTube and Reddit. You can only follow the path that's already been beaten. The magic of finding something yourself is gone because 9,000 speedrunners already found it before you. And here's where the toxicity comes in. Speedrunners start thinking that optimization is the only way to play. They see casual players taking their time and they think it's wrong. They actively pressure casual players to use guides and follow optimal builds. They make fun of inefficient playstyles. They act like casual players are playing the game incorrectly. But there is no correct way to play a game about having fun. If you're having fun exploring slowly, you're doing it right. If you're having fun speedrunning, you're also doing it right. But speedrunners have decided that their way is the only way and everyone else needs to conform. The casual player loses here because they're being told they're doing it wrong. They're being told to use guides, follow optimal builds, stop exploring and start optimizing. The discovery that made the content engaging becomes impossible because the information is ubiquitous. You can't unknow the optimal route once it's been posted to every gaming website. What makes it worse that speedrunners actually think they're helping. They think posting guides immediately is a service. They think, at least now everyone knows the optimal way. But what they're actually doing is eliminating choice. You now have the option to either play optimally or play wrong. There's no third option of playing your own way because the community has decided what the right way is. Let me tell you about what happens when speedrun culture collides with discovery communities. Because this isn't just annoyance, this actually destroys communities. RuneScape had a massive update with new areas and new content. A player, let's call them Explorer, took their time exploring. They weren't following guides, they were just wandering around. After hours of exploration, they found a secret area that required specific puzzle solving to access. It was invisible to normal pathing. This player had discovered something that literally no guide had told you about. Explorer was excited. They posted about the discovery on Reddit. They explained the puzzle. They showed the location. They were proud to have found something nobody had officially documented. This should have been a cool community moment. Someone found a secret thing. Community learns about it through that person's discovery. Instead, the speedrunning community immediately started optimizing it. They calculated the exact fastest way to solve the puzzle. They created a route that combined the secret area with other content. They posted video guides. Within 24 hours, Explorer's discovery was completely absorbed into the speedrun meta. The secret became just another waypoint on the optimal route. Explorer felt robbed. They discovered something and the speedrunning community had immediately commodified it. What should have been a special moment of discovery became just another meta optimization. The community learned about it through speedrun guides, not through Explorer's excitement about discovering it. Final Fantasy XIV released a new raid tier. The speedrunning community and World First guilds competed to clear it first. One guild cleared it first, legitimately. It was a huge moment. World First clear, mechanics learned through trial and error, actual discovery. But then the speedrunning community immediately posted full mechanic guides. They explained everything. They created optimized strategies. They literally took the entire learning experience and turned it into a simple sequence to execute. Within 24 hours, Discovering mechanics yourself was no longer possible. The optimal strategy had been established. New players trying to learn the raid naturally had to choose between discovering it themselves while everyone else uses optimal strats or using the guide. If they tried to discover it naturally, they'd be watching optimizers execute perfect rotations on the first pull. They'd be behind. They'd be expected to already know the mechanics because everyone else knew them. The raid community eventually split. One group was speedrunning optimizing, the other group wanted to learn it naturally. These groups couldn't raid together because they were operating from completely different knowledge states. The speedrun guides had actually fractured the community. Elder Scrolls Online has a huge exploration community. People love discovering hidden areas, secret paths, and Easter eggs. This was a thriving subculture of the game, people competing to find secrets and sharing discoveries. Then speedrunning content creators decided exploration was content. They started creating optimization guides for discovering secrets faster. They'd post, "Here's every secret in this zone and the fastest route to find them all." They were, in essence, speedrunning discovery. The exploration community was devastated. The joy of discovery was that you found things nobody had documented yet. But now everything was documented the day content dropped. You could follow a guide and find all the secrets, but that wasn't discovering them, that was following a guide. The exploration communities migrated to private Discord servers and closed communities where they could discover things without the speedrun guide showing up immediately. What used to be a public shared experience became hidden because the public community had become toxic about optimization. New World released new zones and new content. Casual players were excited to explore them at their own pace, but immediately speedrunning content creators posted optimization guides. The guides explained the fastest way to level, the best builds, and the most efficient routes through zones. The casual player community started using these guides just to keep up, not because they wanted to, but because everyone else was using them. If you didn't follow the guides, you were falling behind. The pressure became social. If everyone knows the optimal way and you're not using it, you're being intentionally inefficient. Casual players started experiencing anxiety about not playing efficiently enough. They felt rushed. They felt like they were wasting time exploring when they should be following the established meta. The joy of casual play, doing things at your own pace, was gone because the pace had been established by speedrunners. A popular streamer who specializes in speedrunning started a new game. They streamed their first playthrough to an enormous audience. They explored quickly. They don't read flavor text, they skip story. They're just trying to progress as fast as possible. Their chat is watching and taking notes. By the time the streamer finishes exploring a zone, the Discord community had already documented everything. The secret locations are known. The optimal builds are calculated. The story details are extracted even though the streamer skipped them. New players watching the stream think this is how the game is supposed to be played. They think speedrunning through content is the right way to experience it. They're learning from the streamer that optimization is the default, and discovery is a waste of time. The streamer doesn't realize they're establishing meta for the entire audience, but their speedrun is becoming the expected way to play. A content creator was known for finding optimal builds and strategies. They'd post guides within hours of content dropping. They built a following of people who trusted their optimization. Then they started getting aggressive with people who played differently. They'd see someone in chat with a non-optimal build and lecture them about why they're playing wrong. They'd explain the superior strategy. They'd make people feel stupid for not knowing the correct way. The creator realized that they'd become gatekeepers. They'd position themselves as the authority on the correct way to play, and anyone who deviated from their strategy was doing it wrong. The creator actually had to take a break because they realized how toxic they'd become. They'd turned optimization into morality. So why did speedrunning go from niche hobby to a dominant playstyle that everyone has to conform to? Let me explain the weird economy that created this. Streaming happened. That's the big factor. Once streaming became a thing, speedrunning got constant visibility. A speedrunner clearing new content in 2 hours is entertaining. Hundreds of thousands of people watch live. It's constant content. It's dramatic. It's competitive. Casual play isn't entertaining to watch. A casual player exploring slowly, reading quests, text, talking to NPCs, that's not dramatic. That doesn't get views. So, all the streaming attention and money went to speedrunners. The economic incentive pushed the entire community towards optimization. Content creators realized early that guide production was profitable. Post an optimization guide, get views, get sponsorships, build a following. So, the day content drops. Guides are posted because that's the profitable strategy. The guides establish optimal play immediately. The casual players have no choice but to either follow them or fall behind. The speedrunning community also got really organized. They built communities. They coordinated research and shared data. When content drops, they mobilize like a professional operation. Casual players don't have that infrastructure. They can't compete with organized speedrunning teams. And then there's the social pressure aspect. Once the optimal way is established, people feel pressure to conform. If everyone's using optimal builds and you're not, you feel like you're wasting everyone's time. Guilds start expecting optimal play. Raid groups expect optimal builds. The community normalizes optimization and casual play becomes the outlier. What happened is that speedrunning created a network effect. The more people optimize, the more valuable the optimization becomes. If everyone else is optimized and you're not, you're a liability. So, you optimize, and then everyone's optimized. But here's the thing, this wasn't inevitable. Casual play and speedrunning could coexist. But streaming economics and guide culture pushed it all towards optimization. The incentive structure made speedrunning profitable and discovery unprofitable. Developers also contribute by supporting the speedrunning meta. They balance content around optimized strategies. They design for players who are min-maxing. Casual players have to use the same strategies because the content is designed with optimization in mind. So it's not that speedrunners are evil. It's that the economic and social incentives all point towards optimization. Discovery is harder to monetize. Casual play is harder to watch. Optimization gets the resources and attention, and everyone else has to keep up or feel left behind. So how do discovery players actually play in a world where optimization is the default and information is ubiquitous? First, you have to accept that true discovery in MMOs is probably dead. The information is out there. Even if you don't actively look for guides, you'll stumble across them. Reddit will spoil things. YouTube will suggest optimization videos. The information exists, and you can't unknow it. But there's a difference between knowing the information exists and actively using it. Some players choose to avoid guides, even though they know guides exist. They'll see a YouTube recommendation for optimization guide and just not click it. That takes discipline, but it's possible. Some discovery-focused communities have gotten really intentional about creating spoiler-free spaces. They have Discord servers where guides aren't posted. They have streaming communities that explicitly avoid speedrunning spoilers. They're creating their own infrastructure to protect discovery. The other approach is to redefine what discovery means. Instead of discovering the optimal strategy, discover your own strategy. Experiment with non-optimal builds and see if they work. Create your own routes instead of following established ones. The discovery comes about personalizing the experience, not being first to know something. Some games are actually helping by supporting multiple difficulty levels and playstyles. If the game acknowledges that casual play is valid, then casual players feel less pressure to conform to optimization. But this requires developers to actively support discovery as a legitimate playstyle. The harsh reality is that speedrunners and optimization culture aren't going away. So discovery players need to adapt. They need to create their own communities that protect discovery. They need to find games that support slower play. They need to accept that some content will be solved before they reach it. But they also need to recognize their right to play at their own pace. The speedrunning community doesn't get to dictate how everyone else plays. If you want to explore slowly, then by all means, explore slowly. If you want to use guides, use guides. The game is big enough for both. What doesn't work is pretending the discovery is still possible at the community level. It's not. Information is ubiquitous. But discovery at a personal level, figuring out your own way to play, that's still possible. You just have to be intentional about avoiding the meta. Speedrunning isn't evil, optimization isn't wrong, but when they become the only acceptable way to play, they destroy the people who want a different experience. The real problem is that gaming community has decided there's one right way to play and everyone else needs to conform. But games are big enough for multiple play styles. Speedrunners can speedrun. Casual players can take their time. Both can exist without conflict. The issue is that speedrunning culture has become aggressive about forcing conformity. They're not satisfied with playing their way. They need everyone else to play their way too, and the economic incentives support that. So discovery got squeezed out. If you want to discover content at your own pace, do it. Avoid the guides. Avoid the communities that post optimization. Create your own communities that protect discovery. Let's be honest, it's harder now, but it's still possible. The speedrunning world doesn't have to be your world. Next week on MMO Madness, we're diving into the report spammer, weaponizing the support system. We're talking about players who mass report other players for things that aren't violations, how false reports can get people banned, and what happens when the report system gets abused by bad faith actors. That's going to be dark. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and support the podcast. And if you've got a speedrun spoiler story, if you felt rushed by optimization culture, or had your discovery spoiled, email us at podcast@mmomadness.com. Until then, play your own way. Don't let the meta define your fun. I'm Boss Mode, and thanks for listening.